Imagine waking up one day to find that one of the most popular social media platforms has suddenly disappeared. How would that impact your stocks? Picture this. As we speak, the fate of the social media giant TikTok hangs in the balance in the United States. The Senate is contemplating a bill that could either compel the sale of TikTok to a US company or ban it outright. Why the drastic measures, you ask? Well, there are growing concerns about data privacy and the influence of the Chinese government. Now, TikTok isn't taking this lying down. They've launched Project Texas in response, an initiative aimed at addressing these concerns and potentially saving their platform in the US market. But the question remains, will this be enough to appease the Senate and the concerned public? If TikTok were to be banned, the ramifications would be far-reaching. Not to mention, the ban could have serious implications on TikTok's marketing and e-commerce businesses, leading to increased scrutiny and potential regulation of similar companies. In the stock market, a TikTok ban could initially give a boost to social media stocks. But don't be fooled. This could set a precedent for increased government regulation in the future. It's not all about immediate gains, but also about the long-term implications. There's also speculation about potential private investors swooping in to buy TikTok, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. The process would be complex and fraught with risk. Any change in ownership could significantly impact competitors like Meta and Snap in the social media landscape. The potential ban of TikTok is not just about one app, it could set a precedent that could shake the tech world and the stock market. So as we delve deeper into this topic, remember, the fate of TikTok is not merely a debate about a single platform, but a discussion about the future of technology, privacy, and the very fabric of our digital society. But how exactly would a TikTok ban impact the stock market? This question has been on the minds of many, and there's no straightforward answer. But let's dive in and explore some possibilities. A TikTok ban could initially boost social media stocks like Meta, YouTube, and Snapchat. These platforms could potentially absorb some of TikTok's massive user base, resulting in increased engagement and ad revenue. Investors might see this as an opportunity, leading to a surge in these stocks. But it's important to note that there's no direct substitute for TikTok's unique algorithm and user base. TikTok has carved out a niche for itself in the social media landscape, with its unique blend of user-generated content, AI-driven recommendations, and a global community. This uniqueness is what keeps users hooked, and its absence could create a void that's not easily filled. Let's not forget TikTok's influence in the realms of marketing and e-commerce. Brands have leveraged the platform's popularity to reach younger demographics, driving online sales and creating viral marketing campaigns. A ban could disrupt these strategies, potentially impacting the bottom lines of businesses that rely on TikTok for marketing. Moreover, a ban could lead to increased scrutiny and regulation of similar companies. Governments around the world might use this as a precedent to regulate other social media platforms, particularly those based outside their jurisdictions. This could create uncertainty in the tech sector, potentially leading to volatility in the stock market. And it's not just about the immediate aftermath. The long-term implications could be equally significant. A TikTok ban could set a precedent for increased government regulation in the future. This could change the way tech companies operate, leading to a shift in their business models, and potentially impacting their stock performance. So, the impact of a TikTok ban wouldn't be confined to the social media industry. It could ripple out, affecting various sectors of the economy and the stock market as a whole. There could be a ripple effect. The impact of a TikTok ban could be felt far beyond the confines of the social media industry. But what if TikTok is not banned but instead sold to private investors? Now that's a question that's been buzzing around the tech and investment worlds. This isn't just a simple business transaction we're talking about. Buying TikTok would be a complex and risky process, given the current political and data privacy concerns. Let's imagine for a moment that a group of private investors does step up to the plate. They would be taking on a behemoth of an app with a unique algorithm and a user base that's unlike any other, not to mention the potential scrutiny from governments and regulators. It's a high-stakes game of poker, with the outcome far from certain. Now, if TikTok undergoes new ownership, the ripples would be felt throughout the social media landscape. Companies like Meta and Snap, who have been eyeing TikTok's throne, could find themselves in a new competitive environment. Think about it. TikTok, under new leadership, may decide to alter its strategy, innovate its features, or change its algorithm. This could lead to a shift in user behavior, affecting the balance of power among these social media giants. In the world of social media, change is the only constant, and a change in TikTok's ownership could be the catalyst for a whole new game. And let's not forget the potential impact on advertisers and marketers. TikTok's marketing and e-commerce businesses are significant players in the industry. Any change in the platform's direction could affect how businesses reach their target audiences, again impacting the wider market. The future of TikTok is uncertain, but one thing is clear: the outcome will have far-reaching implications for the stock market and individual portfolios. But as such, a ban of TikTok would eliminate an important place for Americans to speak and be heard. It would be a travesty for the free speech rights of hundreds of millions of Americans who depend on the app to communicate, express themselves, and even make a living. And perhaps more importantly, it would further balkanize the global internet and disconnect us from the world. I have read reports about congressmen being flooded by phone calls from children and young adults of all ages asking them to not ban TikTok. Included in some calls was background noise, like the kids were at school currently in class reaching out to our politicians. TikTok stands accused of being a conduit for the Chinese Communist Party, guzzling up sensitive user data and sending it to China. There's not much evidence to suggest that's true, except that their parent company ByteDance is a Chinese company, and China's government has its so-called private sector in a chokehold. In order to stay compliant, you have to play nice. In all of this, it's important to remember that America is not China. America doesn't have a great firewall with our very own internet free from outside influences. America allows all sorts of websites that the government likes, dislikes, and fears onto our computers. So, there's an irony in allowing Chinese internet giants onto America's internet when, of course, American companies like Google and Meta's services aren't allowed on Chinese computers. And because of America's robust speech protections under the First Amendment, the US finds itself playing a different ballgame than the Chinese government in this moment. These rights protect Americans against the US government, not from corporations like TikTok, Meta, YouTube, or Twitter, despite the fact that they do have outsized influence over modern communication. No, the First Amendment says that the government cannot stop you from speaking without a damned good reason. In other words, you're protected against Congress, not TikTok. The reality is that if Congress wanted to solve our data privacy problems, they would solve our data privacy problems. But instead they want to ban TikTok. So they've found a way to try and do so. The bill will proceed to the Senate floor, then to the president's desk, and then it will land in the US court system. At that point, our First Amendment will once again be put to the test, a free speech case that's very much not in the abstract, but one whose results will affect 170 million Americans who just want to use an app and have their voices be heard. In the end, the fate of TikTok could reshape the landscape of social media and the stock market. Reflecting on the potential implications, a ban on TikTok could reverberate through the world of technology and finance, influencing not just individual portfolios, but the stock market at large. The ripples of this decision could extend to other social media platforms and tech companies, potentially leading to an era of increased government scrutiny and regulation. In the wake of such a historic decision, investors might need to reevaluate their portfolio strategies, bearing in mind the potential volatility that could arise from the regulatory changes. This unprecedented situation underscores the reality that the world of tech and finance are inextricably linked, with decisions in one arena capable of causing substantial shifts in the other. Whether you're an investor or just a casual observer, the TikTok situation is a reminder of how interconnected the world of tech and finance really is. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on the ever-evolving tech landscape.